Welcome to this edition of On Point. I'm Kartikeya Sharma and I'm joined by Vijay Chauthaiwale, who's in charge of Bharatiya Janata Party's Foreign Affairs Department. And the interview is in context of a seminar which is going to take place in Delhi, which is leading to a lot of polarized content on social media, a lot of strong views on it. The seminar is known as Dismantling Global Hindutva. So you wrote an editorial in a leading newspaper, and you have accused the seminar of reflecting the sentiment of Hinduphobia. Why did you use that word, sir?
Because, first of all, thank you, Kartikeya, for inviting me. The main reason is that this is explicitly against whatever Hindus stand for culturally with their heritage and also as a global community. For example, one very prominent professor from Cambridge University, who is part of all this Hinduphobic gang, has tweeted that that US government should stop giving H-1B visas to Hindus because she thinks that this whole Hindu propaganda is being nurtured by them. So the hatred for Hindus and everything what Hindus stand for has gone to this extent. And also, as I have mentioned in my editorial, the dates on which this program is being organized, 10th and 11th. 10th is Ganesh Chaturthi, which is auspicious day for Hindu. And we all know that 11th September, how dreaded this day is. So rather than talking about jihadi terrorism and the overall challenge of terrorism, these people are talking about Hindutva and dismantling Hindutva. It only shows how much hatred they have for Hindus and Hindu as a way of life. And that's why I wrote this editorial.
But sir, why should dismantling Hindutva be criticized in context of academic freedom, sir? Because that's the word also you have used in your editorial.
Academic freedom doesn't give you freedom for a hatred to any community. And those who are doing this under the disguise of or under the veil of academic freedom, they should know that it doesn't give them freedom to spread the hatred towards Hindus. Another aspect is that such kind of endorsement from few universities in US actually will create a very unsafe atmosphere for the Hindu students. In just few months back, there was an incident at Rutgers University where one of the prominent professors, again, who seems to be expert on Hinduism, had made a very veiled comment against Hindu religion. And as a consequence, some of the students started feeling unsafe in the campus. And if these messages of hatred continues, the safety of the students, especially in US campus, is likely to be jeopardized, and we should be very worried about it.
But Mr. Chauthaiwale, tell me, why shouldn't the fringe element in the religion be subject to academic discussion? Because every religion can have fringe element, violent elements.
Yeah, but that doesn't constitute the main theme of any religion or any way of life. There are some fringe elements in all the religions, and I accept that, and we should not endorse them. But therefore, castigating the entire religion, and especially the Hindu is not religion, but as we say, it's a dharma, which has some of the most noblest values for the entire humanity. They should not be castigated and bracketed as a kind of anti-Islam or anti any other religion, or even a Brahminical, etc.
Are you saying that it's wrong to compare Hindutva with political Islam? Are you saying that it's a wrong comparison?
Of course it is, because Hindutva is much beyond it. Hindutva is a philosophy which goes beyond, there is a political element definitely, but it is much beyond. It is a universal Hindu-ness, what if it can be translated into English. And this Hindu-ness, politics is a very small element. but it is much more about the values, about the heritage, about the culture, about the arts, and therefore bracketing Hindutva into certain dogma is absolutely wrong.
Okay, let me ask you an academic question, because this is something which everyone has been writing on, though this constitutes I would say the core understanding of our civilization by Savarkar. Don't you think there's a difference between Hindutva and Hinduism, or do you believe that they're one and the same thing?
So there is a difference. There is a difference, no doubt about it. Hinduism is more about religious practices, etc., rituals, but Hindutva is much beyond it. Hindutva encompasses everything that is noble, everything that is of a very high standard, impeccable standards, and it is universal.
And Hindutva?
I am saying Hindutva itself.
And so you are differentiating it. So you don't believe that Hindutva is a political project, as your critics would say? What is the difference?
I am saying that there is a element of political element in Hindutva, but Hindutva is not only a political philosophy.
So can you just
elaborate? There is much more in Hindutva, as I explained to you in my last question also. There is much more to offer to entire world, entire universe to Hindutva, universalism. Even the current issues like integrated health care or well-being of the humanity, environment, all those issues are encompassed in Hindutva.
But you have used a very...
which may not be ritualistic for many.
But you have used a very interesting analogy, the bottoms up, but that's very, very electoral in nature. If we say Hinduism, yes, it's a it's a religion, it's a form of life, it's like practice of various customs which are not codified like other Semitic religions. That's Hinduism. Hindutva, you said there is a political aspect to it, but you have also in your editorial written about that bottoms up approach in context of the Ayodhya movement. Do you think that populism provides 100% legitimacy to an expression which has the capacity to other the other community? Do you think that is it correct?
No, absolutely incorrect. And I would advise you to read to V.S. Naipaul's interview, both with Dilip Padgaonkar and also with another journalist, I guess Rahul Singh. And he has explained it very elaborately. And essentially, these are the questions were asked that time also, that Ram Janma Bhoomi is actually something like reinventing itself for the entire Hindu society. It went much beyond politics. If it would have been only political experiment, that after 6 December 1992, in the next election, in fact, Kalyan Singh lost. So if it would have been a political experiment, it would have resulted into a different result. So definitely BJP is in a long term benefited by Ram Janma Bhoomi's agitation. There is no question about it. Entire Hindutva movement got a boost by Ram Janma Bhoomi, but also it's an expression of a nationalistic sentiment of a common citizen of the country. And therefore, not only Hindus, but many people from other religions also have supported Ram Janma Bhoomi agitation. It is like a revitalizing national spirit of India.
Yes, yes. Okay, that's the point you have made in your article. But there is another aspect to this whole debate, which is also about that in this seminar, the other point of view has not been invited. And last time when I was speaking to one of the speakers in a conversation we were having on Twitter space, Makarand Paranjpe, he said, this reflects the illiberal attitude. Would you agree?
Absolutely. So-called liberals are the most illiberal tribe right now. And the cancel culture is most prevalent among them. But at the same time, they are accusing others like illiberal. There cannot be more hypocrisy than that.
But Mr. Chauthaiwale, since this debate has really fired up the imagination of a lot of public intellectuals, historians, everyone has become an expert on Hinduism and Hindutva. Do you feel that the electoral expression of Bharatiya Janata Party is also a result of social mobility within the Hindu fold? That primarily, if you look at your own chief ministers, the mascots of Hindutva, they actually surprisingly in 80s didn't come from the upper caste. They all came from the OBCs. And how did this happen, if you can, because you have worked with Sangh also very closely.
I will not go into so much of the categorizing into every caste and subcaste, because that is not the way I would look into it. But the main accusation which liberals are doing is that Hindutva is essentially upper caste and Brahminical construct is absolutely untrue. If you see that even bhakti, religious sentiments are much more in the poor, among the rural area, and also among non-Brahmin caste. You will see it everywhere in the sun. The people who turn up for, say, for example, Kumbh Mela, I am sure overwhelming majority of them are non-Brahmins or non-upper caste. So the spirit of Hinduness is very much alive and thriving among all the sections of the society. And right now, whatever mobilization you are seeing is showing that the leaders who are representing this diversity of Indian society, they all are being represented not only by BJP, but also in the social sphere, in the cultural sphere, in the media, in the academics. It is a great empowerment of this section of our society, or these sections of the society which were underrepresented. And there cannot be a better thing than this, and we all must welcome it.
And my last question to you, sir, is that you also referred to the fact that Hindutva is drawing upon the fundamental beliefs of the civilization and also drawing upon from the modernity. These were the two words which you used. So I would, at the end of it, I would just make the debate slightly bigger and you can elaborate on it. Do you feel that with the change, with the cultural nationalism and your argument that it is drawing both from modernity and civilizational belief, do you think it continues to be compatible with the idea of the founding fathers of the Constitution, or the electorate is saying something else?
I would say that where is the civilizational connect is anti-constitutional. In fact, it is not. The Constitution is based on some of the eternal principles which has emerged from our own soil, and therefore showing connect with them, and at the same time showing allegiance to Indian state, Indian Constitution. They are perfectly in harmony, and at the same time showing the modernity, means not only in terms of constitutionalism, but also in terms of at least rejecting the caste barriers, women empowerment, etc. They are perfectly in sync with values of Hindutva. And therefore, I am seeing that the new generation, on one side, they are very religious. They do yoga in a large, many of them. They do meditation. A lot of people, they attend spiritual gatherings, and at the same time, they are modern. And that is why I have again quoted Naipaul's statement saying that those who are actually agitating for Ram Janmabhoomi, they are not the people who are with the saffron robes and ash on their forehead, but they are people with jeans and t-shirt, which Padagaonkar has said, and Naipaul has endorsed about it. Yes, this is what he has called is bottom-up revolution, and this is one of the biggest experiment of revolution or peaceful revolution among any societal change, and it's very welcome sign.
Basically, you're saying that you don't need to be religious to align yourself with the idea of Hindutva, because it can incorporate both.
Absolutely.
as Savarkar had in one edition, one part of his
And
biography.
at the same time, people are very comfortable with their modern identity as well as being very religious. The youngsters, if you see, you will see everywhere they follow some sect. They may follow a certain ritualistic pattern. They may go to temple, but at the same time, in their thoughts, they are very modern and up to date.
So thank you so much for making time for our special program On Point.